welcome to my channel again. Today I want to be talking about breaking up with perfectionism in romantic relationships. And if I'm gonna be looking down a lot, it's because I've written a script for this video on my computer because I want to be talking about everything that I think that is important about this topic. And I hope you're gonna enjoy this video, and I'm just gonna jump right into it. I think many of us has this subliminal belief that a healthy relationship is supposed to be perfect. Or at least I think so, because I also had this belief that a relationship must be without fault and that you should feel good in the relationship most of the time, if not all the time. And that if your partner could not meet most of your needs for a relationship, the person was not the right person for you. The idea of how I thought a healthy relationship was supposed to look broke when I talked with my partner about it. Because I thought that we were not supposed to stay together when the relationship did not feel good to be in all the time. But I learned two things from this conversation with my partner, and also with a talk that I had with myself, some thoughts I had after this talk, and some things I've learned from myself. First of all, I learned that you have to choose to see the good in your partner and focus mostly on what is working and not what is not working, because if you start focusing on the negative sides of your partner and your relationship, the negatives can easily overwhelm you and make it seem so that the relationship is only made up of the hard and the negative things. So that's why it's really important to focus on the positive things and to choose to mainly focus on these, because otherwise, as I said, the negative things in the relationship can really be overwhelming, because there are going to be negatives in every relationship and it isn't going to be perfect. And of course, you still have to talk some things through with your partner that does not work for you, but you should mainly focus on the good things to stay happy together in the relationship. So you mainly have to focus on the good things in the relationship. And as I said, that's not to say that you don't still have to talk with your partner about some things that might not be working, so you can work on bettering them or talking about a way that you can handle them better, or the other person might be able to handle this problem better. And secondly, the thing that I learned after this talk with my boyfriend and after reflecting over other things myself is that it's normal that a relationship is not perfect. Hard times are normal in relationships. Not agreeing on everything and arguing sometimes are also normal things in a relationship. And not having the same sex drive is also really normal. After talking with my partner about this and after reflecting over this topic, I really think that it's crazy that some people leave other people because there might be things that are not working in the relationship, or they might not have the same sex drive, and all this is normal. You just have to be willing to fight for the relationship. You have to be willing to work on the relationship. Just like yourself, you have to work on a relationship, otherwise it doesn't get better. So I really think not having the same sex drive or arguing about something is a crazy reason to leave your partner nowadays, because as I said, I found a way to break up with perfectionism in relationships. I'm not totally broken up with it, that's not realistic. We are all perfectionistic at some time, but it isn't as much as it was back then when I thought that a relationship was supposed to be perfect. Luckily, I've learned that it isn't supposed to be that way. And I think it's really important to talk about that, because other people might have the same belief that I did back then. I know we live in a perfectionistic world, but a relationship has faults, and if both parties choose to work on these and choose to live with each other's imperfections, because you and your partner in the relationship mostly work well together and are happy most of the time, that's the ideal relationship. The ideal relationship is accepting each other's faults and working on bettering the relationship. It's a relationship where you feel good in the relationship most of the time and where you work well together. Not to say that you work well together all the time, that's not realistic, but as long as you work well together most of the time, that's what's important, and that's the ideal relationship. Perfectionism in a relationship isn't the ideal. If you like me, thought that a relationship had to be perfect because everybody around us talks about relationships in this way, movies and social media, and the people you know only talk about the good things in the relationship and not really the bad things. And people around you might also tell you that you should leave your partner as soon as something goes wrong. So I would say, alright, it's not your fault if you didn't know this, because it isn't something society always teaches us, that a relationship isn't perfect. So that's why I'm telling you my story about this. But choosing to stay in a relationship, even though it has faults and even though your partner sometimes is hard to live with, and choosing to work on a relationship together is what makes a relationship. That's the ideal relationship, is choosing each other even though we are all insufferable to live with sometimes. Believe me, we all are. Nobody's perfect. And choosing to stay with this person even though they have their own faults and you have your faults, and choosing to work on the relationship together so that it grows and it stays a good relationship. That is the ideal relationship, and that's what makes a relationship. And this is not to say that if you are in a toxic relationship where the other person purposely breaks you down, or the combination of you and your partner are just toxic, that's not to say that you should stay with this person and just accept their faults. There's a big difference between a normal relationship and a toxic relationship, and I'm just talking about the normal relationship here. If you're with a really toxic partner, leave them. Save yourself. And maybe also save them, because the combination of you two as partners might be toxic. You might not be toxic as an individual person, but times it becomes toxic because you're not meant to be with this person. So yeah, it's to tell my experience with breaking up with perfectionism in my romantic relationship to build a happy and healthy relationship with my partner. I hope this might help you, and that it might help you break up with perfectionism in your life, because it's toxic if it becomes too extreme. If you become too perfectionistic, it will kill the relationship. We all have faults and nobody's perfect, and that's really important to remember, even in relationships. That was actually everything I had to say, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video and you might have learned something. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, who watches my video, who watches this video. It really means a lot to me, so thank you a lot. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe and turn on notifications.